Hello, I'm Tom Nieman. This is Inside the Summit League. November is gone, but not forgotten. We've got the plays of the month coming up, including those shots in the shootout in the Women's Soccer Championship. Lots of excellent basketball analysis coming up as well with Brad Newitt. Who's looking good and who's got a ways to go here in the early season in hoops. But first, the University of Denver will represent the Summit League in the NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament that starts this week. The Pioneers got together for the selection show on Sunday to find out that they will face Colorado State in the first round. This will be Denver's first time in the tournament.
Well, I think it's pretty special. It's something that we haven't accomplished here before, something that we've been working towards, certainly before our staff got here, and since we've been here, it's been our ultimate goal, at least to take that next step.
This is what we've been working for since day one of preseason. We've had a tough road, but along the way, it's just all of the efforts made by individuals and as a team. It means a lot for our program, and obviously we've made history this year, and it feels fantastic.
Kate and Bailey have done a great job all year, not just on the court, but off the court, in the locker room, and kind of liaising with the coaching staff as well. Both of them, I think, have grown so much as players and as people. And I know this experience has meant a lot to them. They've really poured their heart and their soul and their bodies into this season. And so I'm really happy for them. It's really gratifying to see the success that they've had. And I'm happy that what they've done over the last several years, and this year especially, is really paying off for them.
Well, I honestly couldn't ask for a better way to go out my senior year. I know me and Bailey have put a lot of hours in, and we haven't made it to the tournament thus far, obviously, so it's nice to be a part of a little history, and hopefully we're leaving a great legacy, and we go into the tournament strong and can show everybody what we're capable of doing the next few years.
I think going into the season, we expected to make the tournament. So, now that we've exceeded that goal, we're really excited to go to the NCAA tournament. So Kate and I, as seniors, we're hoping to leave this program with a good legacy so that they can continue on. So we're really excited to go to the tournament this year.
Denver's tournament bracket will include 3 other Colorado teams: Colorado State, Colorado, and Northern Colorado.
We kind of knew going in that Colorado State would get seeded and therefore get to host the first round. And with 4 great Colorado teams, I think, in the region, we knew that we'd be heading for Collins. No matter who you play in the NCAAs, it's going to be a really good team. It's going to be a tough test for us, but it's something that we're going to be excited about and go in and put our best foot forward, and it's going to be a great matchup.
The Denver-Colorado State match is at 6:30 Mountain Time on Friday. Colorado and Northern Colorado will play before that. Denver beat Northern Colorado earlier this week in a tournament warm-up match. Colorado State, though, beat Denver 3-0 in a match way back in early September. Coming up, our Summit League basketball analyst Brad Newitt comes in to talk some early season hoops, who's hot and who's not even close right now.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Welcome back to Inside the Summit League. Between Root Sports in Denver, Hometown Sports in Indianapolis, and the NBC stations in North Dakota this year, there's going to be a lot of Summit League basketball on television this year. Brad Newitt is one of our color commentary guys for the games that we'll have here on Midco Sports Network, and joins us to talk about the first month or so of the season. Let's start with the men, Brad, and just go right down the list of how they stand right now. North Dakota State, the defending Summit League champs, they're off to a 4-2 start after losing their first 2 games at Texas and at Iowa.
Yeah, they had some very tough competition, nationally ranked teams there to start the season, but they've really rebounded well off of that, have a couple nice home wins, and then get a really nice road win at Montana State. You can tell this is a team that's starting to kind of find their way under first-year head coach Dave Richmond.
And then they had a game about a week ago against Minnesota Crookston, a Division II team, and the Bison squeaked this one out 64-63. Explain that.
Yeah, that's one of those nights types of things, but the big thing is North Dakota State found a way to win the game. I'm sure a lot of learning experience for those guys in the close one like that.
They've got 10 freshmen or redshirt freshmen or sophomores out of their top 13 players on this team. Very young.
They are very young, but a guy named A.J. Jacobson, that's a kid you need to watch out of Fargo. He's having a great redshirt freshman year, averaging double figures for them.
He had 18 points in that win against Crookston. They got a kid named Paul Miller, another freshman from the state of Wisconsin, another guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin's been a great recruiting area for North Dakota State through the years, and Richmond has done a nice job as a coach recruiting that area, and I expect that will continue.
Denver is 3-2, one of the other good returning teams from last year, and they had a game against New Orleans on Sunday. They win this game 79-60. They've got some upperclassmen, 6 juniors and seniors that kind of lead the way for them.
They really do. Led by Brad Olson, Player of the Year in the preseason for Denver, but he's a kid that's really actually struggling shooting the basketball here early on. But I think when he really gets traction going, pair him with Cam Griffin, they're going to be a really good shooting the basketball from the perimeter.
Griffin, 13 points a game right now. Olson's averaging about 12 a game and almost 5 assists per game. He had a bunch in this game against New Orleans. They got a redshirt freshman from New Orleans named Duke Douglas, a guy to keep an eye on.
He is an athletic kid that I think could make a difference for them as he gets more into their system.
All right, Denver, they got a game coming up against Northern Iowa coming up next week. That game will be in Denver. Should be a good matchup there. Fort Wayne is at 3-2 right now. They beat Jacksonville, and former coach Tony Jasic won that game pretty handily, 89-71. But Fort Wayne doing what they're doing right now. Forbes and McCray and Edwards and Mo Evans all averaging double figures right now.
Yeah, and those are their veteran guys back, guys that are really used to playing with each other, and down the stretch when we get into Summit League play, those guys are going to be a tough group for other teams to have to match up against.
Omaha is also 3-2 right now. Beat Marquette. They beat Nevada. Hung right with the Nebraska. What do you think of Omaha so far?
They're doing what they do, which is score the basketball and play up tempo. And they're playing a 3-guard lineup like they have the last couple of years, and it's really tough for teams to match up against them. And as Marquette found, when you don't get them slowed down offensively, you could be in for a long night.
C.J. Carter averaging 17 a game. Devin Patterson 16 a game. They got a 6-foot freshman from Omaha named Trayshawn Thurman who's averaging 11 points a game right now.
Yeah, he's a very athletic player, and he's really doing a nice job kind of filling a need they had at that wing spot, getting some rebounds, playing really good defense.
All right, big Mike Rostampour, 10 points, 8 rebounds a game right now for Omaha. South Dakota State is 2-3, lost to Florida Gulf Coast 71-58. They had a good win over North Dakota when they came back and won 74-72. But what about the Jackrabbits right now?
They're a team that's really trying to find their way. A lot of new faces, a lot of young faces. And again, they don't have their point guard who will become eligible at the semester. So they're a team that's really struggling right now offensively to kind of find their groove and their rhythm.
All right, DeAndre Parks averaging about 13. So is Cody Larson, so is Jake Biddle, some of those returning guys. But again, as you said, George Marshall, transfer from Wisconsin, comes back in the middle of December here for the Jackrabbits. Western Illinois is 2-3 right now. And Garrett Covington, they play Greenville on Saturday. They win this one big, 91-56. But kid for them, Garrett Covington obviously had 22 in this game. Dalen Ankrum, a freshman from Texas, another new kid in the league this year.
Another new kid, and this is a team, again, that I think through the preseason is going to grow and change a lot. I mean, Covington's their leader. He's leading the Summit League in scoring right now, so they're really depending on him. But if they can get some supporting cast around him, watch out for Western Illinois.
Another JUCO transfer, Jamie Badish, averaging 9 points a game right now. He's making a bunch of three-pointers. And Jabari Sandifer back at the point guard. He had 13 assists in that win for Western Illinois. IUPUI is 2-4 right now. A couple of losses to Drake and Georgia State, but they beat Ball State in one of these early games.
Yeah, IUPUI's had some really nice wins. You mentioned Ball State. They win at Wisconsin-Milwaukee, which was another great win for them. And Jason Gardner's really breathing, I think, a lot of positivity and good life into that program. And you can tell that things are starting to get pointed in the right direction there in Indianapolis. PJ
Boutte is a transfer from Detroit, having a good season so far, averaging about 9 points a game. And he's kind of one of the exciting guys for IUPUI right now.
Yeah, he's a kid that can really get up and down the floor, and I think a kid that can really be counted on and a big-time scorer for them the more he gets into their system.
All right, we'll see about the Jaguars. Oral Roberts is 2-4 right now as well. The usual suspects right now for them, Obi Megano at 17 points a game, Corey Bilberry at 14 points a game. Those two carrying the load.
They really are, and Oral Roberts has played a very tough schedule. They've been on the road a lot, and so that's hurting their record a little bit. But they're a team that come Summit League time is going to be ready to go.
And then South Dakota right now, Brad, 2-5. They lost their first 5 games, won their last couple here. Brandon Boss playing well at 17 points a game right now.
He really is, and he's a kid that South Dakota needs to play well. He needs to be the leader of that team, not only from a scoring standpoint, but just in leadership of the team. And Craig Smith, it's going to take some time for him to get his system. They've really changed a lot of things there at USD and how they're playing this year, and so that's going to take some time and some things working out.
All right, 5 new head coaches on the men's side in the league. How much stock do you put in the season so far, and what happens in the next 2 weeks before we get into league play?
I think this is a big time for teams to really learn about themselves. It's really all about Summit League competition for these teams, and so every coach is trying to position themselves so that they're playing their best basketball when that league play starts in January.
All right, we'll do this again in about a month and see where everybody's at. But North Dakota State off to a 4-2 start right now. And when we come back, we'll talk about the women's hoop scene in the Summit League right now. South Dakota on top of the standings, and we'll talk about that when we come back.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Welcome back with Brad Newitt to talk women's basketball in the Summit League now. And over the last couple of years, Brad, South Dakota and South Dakota State have been the teams to beat, and they're both off to 4-2 starts so far.
Yeah, USD's played really well. They're really clicking offensively, Tom. They're leading the Summit League in scoring right now, and Rochelle Contreras, I mean, she has really upped her scoring output, shooting the ball very well for USD, and that's been a big reason for that.
They beat Marquette 69-65 on Saturday. As you said, Contreras is averaging 19 a game right now. They got Nicole Seekamp back. Margaret McLeod's going to average close to a double-double this year. And Taya He-Miller at the point guard spot, 20 assists so far in 6 games for the Coyotes. South Dakota State right with them here, and they just beat UNLV in a tournament in Vegas over the weekend, and they're off to a 4-2 start.
Yeah, great win this weekend for South Dakota State to go out and win that tournament. And you could tell South Dakota State, though, still really hasn't quite hit the stride I think that they are used to hitting, and I think that's because they really missed their point guard, Bover, who's out this year with a knee injury. And so I think missing that point guard piece has really caused South Dakota State to struggle a little bit offensively here out of the gate.
Carrie Young's kind of stepped in there. She's averaging 11 points, 5 assists right now. Macy Miller, the freshman, 7 points and 4 rebounds right now. Mariah Claren playing really well for South Dakota State right now. Had 22 points, 14 rebounds in that win against UNLV.
Yeah, if they can get that production out of Claren inside, that will really help take some of the pressure off some of their guards who, like you said, they're putting up decent numbers, but some of the shooting percentages, I know Aaron Johnson would like to see those a little better. All
right, North Dakota State is going to be interesting this year. New coach, they've got a really good trio with Brooke Lamar, Moreno Whittle, and Holly Johnson, all in double figures right now. What do you think of the Bison?
They've surprised me, a lot like their men's team has. They've played really well, considering they have a new coach, and they played some good competition, and they're getting some wins. And you can tell for a team that struggled last year that they've kind of hit the reset button, and they've got things pointed in a real positive direction.
All right, Omaha is next in line at 3-3, and they took on Northern Colorado in a game on Friday. They have a kid named Brianna Bogard, a transfer from East Tennessee State, averaging about 11 points a game right now. Michaela Shaw had 15 in this game. Omaha's got some size. They can score some points, kind of like the men's team. We'll see if they can defend people.
Yeah, that's kind of the big question. They like to play up tempo, and this is another program or team that's really showing improvement. You know, every year that they're at this Division I level, you can tell they're getting better and better, more competitive in their non-conference.
Oral Roberts is next in line, at 4-4 on this season. They've got a senior at 6'7" named Vicky McIntyre. She's averaging 13 points and 15 rebounds a game right now. And then you got Western Illinois next. Ashley Luke averaged the double-double last year in the league. She's averaging 16 and 8 right now. But Western took on North Dakota. North Dakota's kind of been beaten up on the Summit League right now, but you had Michelle Maher with 17 in this game. Luke did have 18 points and 13 rebounds, and she's going to be a beast.
She really is. She's an all-around player that can score in a lot of different ways. And Western Illinois, I think, is really a team that, when we get into Summit League play, is going to be a tough matchup for a lot of programs.
Sophie Reichelt, another new player for Western Illinois, one to keep an eye on this year. And Fort Wayne is at 2-3 right now. They had Haley Seibert back, averaging 18 points a game. They have a freshman post named Kishira McCarver, who's averaging 12 points and 7 rebounds a game right now. But Fort Wayne, that great shooting team they had last year, we'll see what they got this year.
Yeah, obviously they lose Amanda Hyde, and that changes people or players' roles on the team when you lose a player that great. And so I think still some feeling out there at Fort Wayne.
All right, and then IUPUI at 2-4 right now. Denver struggling a bit at 0-5 to start the season on the women's side. Brad Newitt, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next month.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
All right, players of the week and the plays of the month for November coming up next when we return on Inside the Summit League.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Welcome back. The month of November was chock full of championships. We had cross country, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball. They all had their share of highlights, and our producer Chad Hunt has put them all together in the plays of the month for November. Here are your Summit League Players of the Week for basketball. Vicky McIntyre of Oral Roberts, a senior from Omaha. It's first-time honor for her. She had 27 rebounds in a win over Austin P on Saturday. That is a new Summit League record. The old mark had stood since 1993. Not only that, McIntyre had 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 block shots in a win over Missouri State earlier in the week. She leads the nation right now in blocks at just under 5 a game. And for the men, Brandon Boss of South Dakota, senior from Ontario. It is his first Player of the Week award. He had 21 for the Coyotes in a win over Cal Bakersfield and 22 in a USD win over Wayne State. Boss leads his team in scoring right now at 17 points per game. And we are right back with the Campus Spotlight from Denver.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Welcome back. We go to Denver for this week's Campus Spotlight. They don't have football, but they do have downhill skiing there, and they have a lot of athletic programs that win a lot of championships.
The University of Denver has once again claimed the Division I AAA Directors Cup, finishing ahead of all other non-football schools in the country. This is an award that honors institutions that maintain a broad-based program, where success is achieved in many different sports.
We have tremendous pride in winning the Directors Cup 6 of the last 7 years. It's really a point of emphasis, and I think it speaks to the dedication of our coaches, of our student athletes, and our staff. That's an emphasis as we move forward each year, trying to get ourselves in a position to be the most successful non-football Division I program in the country.
The Pioneer Ski Program led the charge and continued their storied tradition by winning their 22nd national championship, which contributed 100 of the Pioneers' 519 Directors Cup points.
Tradition, yeah, 22 championships just seems ridiculous to think back since '96. If you were a freshman on the team and you spent 4 years with us, every single class has walked away with a championship ring.
We have a great tradition here, from Willie Scheffler's years of winning back-to-back titles through the 60s. And then before us, Knut Nystad and Kurt Smith's program, getting back on top in 2000 and winning championships, and then winning 3 more over the next 4 or 5 years. And for us, you know, we had a great string from 2008 to 2010, winning 3, but we had to do some work to get back there again, get back to the point where we could have a very strong season like this and going to the championship feeling like we should win. And that's how we felt this year.
Denver's men's and women's soccer team, in just their first year in the Summit League, won the regular season championship and the tournament championships, each earning a berth in the NCAA Tournament. Both soccer coaches have witnessed the growth of the athletic department and know that a standard of excellence has been set.
I just think it shows collectively, top to bottom, how competitive we are at the national level. I think last year, you know, a large group of our teams won the conference championship, gave us opportunities to compete in the national championships, and not just compete, but to make some noise. And each and every year, it's more and more competitive to the student athletes that we bring here, to the staff that we have, and ultimately the expectations that we all have for each other.
We want to keep the best coaches in the country that we can here at the University of Denver. And now I think what the coaches have realized here is you can win national championships, you can get to Final Fours, and that's a byproduct of success and winning.
And I think we are, as a group, a model of what an athletic department is supposed to do. We pull for each other, and great things are happening right now. It's a good time to be a pioneer.
Our thanks to everybody in Denver. Thanks to all of our member schools. We'll see you next week on Inside the Summit League.